Hi, I'm Bud Vincent, the Chief Technology Officer at Ropeless Systems. Please feel free to share the contents of this presentation via social media outlets. We will discuss chart plotter integration for ropeless fishing equipment employing NEMA standards. Before we discuss technical details and current status, we will cover the impetus and background for this effort to provide some necessary context. In early 2019, we became aware of the need for a ropeless or on-demand solution to allow fishermen to continue fishing in areas closed to buoys and end lines. Although we are not commercial fishermen ourselves, we are career mariners with over 40 years of seagoing experience designing, building, and testing ocean technology and marine electronics. Because of our backgrounds, we envisioned that there would be a need for the ropeless fishing equipment to be controlled from a chart plotter. So we designed a system from scratch that included the conscious decision to make the interface for display and control of on-demand gear be chart plotter based. This image from the 2019 Ropeless Consortium was our initial chart plotter display concept to show locations of submerged gear, single traps and trawls, and distinguish both owned and non-owned by color. Personally, I've been involved in the National Marine Electronics Association messaging protocols since the early 90s. My experience was interfacing marine electronic devices and computers on ships. During that period, I had the opportunity to witness changes in interfaces and standards to promote interoperability. Because of our knowledge of NMEA messaging, we knew that there were not existing messages that could support ropeless fishing equipment. So when we formed Ropeless Systems in 2020, the company joined the NMEA with the express purpose of chart plotter integration and more specifically the development of new message types to facilitate ropeless or on-demand fishing. A recent example of a need for new message types was when Automated Identification Systems, or AIS, was introduced as a new requirement in the wake of 9/11. It was soon realized that chart plotter integration was desired and new message types had to be created. Now, AIS display and control is a standard feature on current chart plotters. For ropeless fishing, the situation was very similar. So Ropeless Systems developed initial message types to communicate between a chart plotter and our transceiver. The type of information sent from the transceiver to the chart plotter is trap and trawl positions, ownership, etc. The information from the chart plotter are commands to release for recovery. We engaged with a variety of chart plotter companies, but there was no interest in working with us due to our lack of funding and uncertainty about the future of ropeless. However, we were able to work with OpenCPN, where CPN stands for Chart Plotter Navigation, and open refers to the fact that the software is free and open source. Most importantly, OpenCPN was architected to allow customization through something called plugins. It also had a large user group and supported US and Canadian charts. We engaged directly with OpenCPN developer to create an initial plugin using our new message types. We then took over and started making changes to incorporate feedback from users, primarily fishermen. The image on the right shows an example of OpenCPN with the plugin being used during gear trials in Massachusetts. Ropeless Systems did not restrict this new messaging and chart plotter integration to just ourselves. Instead, we shared it with other ropeless gear manufacturers who had formed the RMW, or Ropeless Manufacturer Workgroup. After we made our message types available to the Ropeless Manufacturers Workgroup, Alex Ross with Assured Innovation started to expand it to meet the needs of other manufacturers that were different than the way that ropeless system gear functions. The messages are now greatly expanded and have made an allowance for data coming from the cloud via ship-to-shore communications. And we're now in the process of getting our work before NMEA with regards to the technical details associated with messaging. Our goal is to put this before them as proposed new standard message types and have that adopted so that any chart plotter manufacturer will have access to these message types and can make their own decision whether to modify their product software to display and control ropeless fishing equipment. Ropeless Systems will continue using our plugin in OpenCPN and the proposed messages. Please note that all material developed and shared for chart plotter integration was developed by Ropeless Systems without any funding from any government organizations or NGOs, and the documentation is available to any interested groups. Next steps include a workshop at the conclusion of the Ropeless Consortium where we can discuss in detail this messaging standard and have participation from the various chart plotter manufacturers.